Once upon a time, in a secluded kingdom veiled in wild roses and swirling mists, there lived a queen named Lysandra. Her realm, Floravelle, was known throughout the world not for its wealth or its armies, but for its eternal spring, a land where flowers never withered, trees always bore fruit, and birds sang lullabies from dawn to dusk. Lysandra was not born into royalty. She had once been a florist's daughter, a simple girl with a love for petals and peace. But the former king, grieving the death of his own child, had stumbled upon her garden in the heart of winter, a miraculous place that bloomed in defiance of snow. He took her in, raised her as his own, and one day she was crowned queen not by birthright, but by grace and heart. Yet even in a paradise like Floravelle, sorrow can take root. Lysandra's beloved husband, King Thalin, had fallen ill with a mysterious curse, a sleeping sickness that not even the kingdom's most ancient healers could reverse. For 7 years, he lay upon a bed of enchanted lilies, his chest rising and falling in eternal slumber, untouched by time. Lysandra had tried everything: herbal brews, elven chants, the tears of moonflowers, but nothing could awaken him. Every night, she wandered the gardens alone, barefoot among the jasmine and violets, her hands trailing the petals as though trying to remember what it felt like to be whole. She spoke to the trees, sang to the stars, and whispered to the wind, hoping some force would answer. One cold twilight, as silver clouds blanketed the sky and the flowers bowed in silence, a brilliant light descended upon the tallest sunflower in the garden. From it emerged a bird not like any the queen had seen before. Its feathers shimmered with molten gold, its eyes glowed like twin suns, and when it opened its beak, it didn't chirp, it spoke. "I am Cyanel," the bird said, its voice like music and memory. "The last of the phoenixes born from sorrow. I come only to those whose hearts are heavier than the mountains." Lysandra fell to her knees, tears glistening in her eyes. "Then you must help me. My king sleeps while life passes him by. I would give anything to see him awake again." Cyanel flapped its wings, scattering golden feathers into the air. "Love that deep can bloom 1,000 gardens, or burn down a world. Are you ready for the truth?" "Yes," she whispered. The bird's glow dimmed slightly, and it perched upon her shoulder. "To save the king, a soul must be given in his place. But not just any soul. One tethered to him. One that carries both love and sorrow." Lysandra's breath caught. "You mean mine?" "Yes. But I do not ask for death. I ask for surrender. You must give up your memories of him. Every kiss, every word, every petal he tucked behind your ear. You will awaken him, but you will forget you ever loved him." The queen's hands trembled. What was love without memory? What was devotion if it faded like morning mist? And yet, he would live. "Do it," she said, eyes closed, tears streaking her cheeks. Cyanel opened its wings, and a cascade of golden light enveloped her. It burned, not like fire, but like the ache of a heart unraveling. She felt every moment with Thalin leave her, his laughter, the warmth of his arms, even the memory of his voice. She screamed, not from pain, but from emptiness. And then, silence. The flowers around her stood still. Even the wind held its breath. Inside the palace, Thalin's eyes fluttered open. The king sat up, confused and blinking at the morning light. Servants wept, bells rang, and celebrations exploded across Floravelle. But Lysandra stood in the garden, surrounded by blooms she no longer recognized, her hands stained with soil she no longer cherished. When Thalon rushed to her, calling her name with tears in his eyes, she looked at him with polite confusion. "I'm sorry," she said gently. "Do I know you?" His heart broke, and yet he smiled. "Once, you knew me better than anyone." Lysandra tilted her head, as if trying to remember, but nothing came. The flowers continued to bloom, unaware that something precious had been severed. That night, she sat alone in the garden, where the golden bird returned. "Why does my heart ache when I look at him?" she asked Cyanel. "Because love does not need memory to exist," the bird said. "It lingers in the soul, in the space between breaths. You will love him again, perhaps differently. But love always finds its way." Lysandra nodded slowly, not understanding but feeling it in her bones. Over the years, she and Thalon rebuilt something new. He never told her the full truth, never begged her to remember. Instead, he planted roses with her in silence, played the harp on windy evenings, and whispered stories as if reading them from a book. And slowly, she smiled more. She began to laugh again, and one day, without knowing why, she picked a sunflower and placed it behind his ear just as she once had. The flowers bloomed brighter that year, and in the distance, the golden bird watched from the clouds its job done, its wings shimmering with new sorrow and new hope. Centuries later, when the story of the Queen of Flowers and the magical golden bird was told to children beneath blooming trees, no one ever remembered the queen's sacrifice. But the flowers still whispered her name when the wind was kind. And if you listened closely, you could still hear a bird singing a song of love so deep it bloomed even after it was forgotten.